Belski a few weeks ago. He took us on a tour there and also showed us some of the tools that are available for him to help prepare his forecast. We'll start out right now with taking a look at the Doppler radar and also some of his computer tools that he uses to prepare his forecast.
We have 250 different color levels, whereas the satellite only comes down to 16. So we'll keep the 16 colors, but on the map itself we use about 100 different colors, gives it more of a textured look, just gives it a little cleaner look on the air than something like this might would if we took it straight. Where it says this number, +5, that means we can check for wind gusts, and again, we can only measure raindrops moving, so we're not going to be able to tell, just looking out on a clear day, strong wind blowing, it's not going to pick it up in the Doppler radar, because the Doppler measures only the movement of the raindrops. But the +5, this would light up in yellow, and we're getting a little bit of yellow there right now, which could be some smokestacks, some kind of water vapor that is moving, smokestack, and with the wind we're having today showing up just south of the city limits, probably down around the Waterson Expressway, but that's not weather related. But the +5 here is the slowest wind speed that it will show up here, which is between 20 and 30 miles per hour. Now, okay, this yellow part is showing up. Let me zoom in on that here. Okay, you see a little bit of yellow here through the city. It could be, usually that comes from the smokestacks. This other stuff is just a little bit of ground clutter. This generally cancels the clutter out. Now, what I'm going to do is hit the wind speed to +11, and that's 60 to 70 miles per hour, and we'll see if it gets rid of it there. Now it's not getting rid of it, so evidently it's obviously some kind of man-made heat thing. Smokestacks, traffic, something or other. It's very sensitive close in to traffic and things like that, so it's picking it up. Let me see if it gets rid of this big blob down there around the waters. Let's say this is ground clear. Let's say it was going to be a storm. I would stop the radar. Okay, I'm stop the radar right in there. Let me back it up just a little bit. Okay, then so if there was a storm where we had stopped that, this would measure the height of the precipitation. You can see it shoots all the way up to 70,000 feet. We could measure, we could see what heights the strongest winds would be at. Usually if there's a real strong wind, 30, 40,000 feet, and as we watch it, we notice it starts coming down toward the ground. There's a good chance that's a strong wind gust coming down to ground level. Also, usually winds showing up below 5,000 feet, there's a good chance of those wind gusts reaching ground level. So that's what we'll be watching for during the thunderstorms. Movement of strong winds moving downward, or strong winds already near the surface. And again, we adjust our levels of the wind speed on the radar here to determine the approximate wind gusts, whether it's a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust or a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Have you heard about the earthquake this afternoon? I was outside when it occurred. I was in Floyd County, and I did not feel it. But it was 3.8 in the Richter scale, centered somewhere around Corridon. So that's not a damaging quake, but that's a pretty good-sized quake there. That moved furniture in Meade County, Kentucky, right across the river, and they said that pots and pans were rattling throughout Harrison County. So strange happenings. Radio station boycotts Guns N' Roses. I think I think you're the second one to do that, though, in the local area. The classical music station in Louisville, they said they weren't going to play them anymore either. So it's in the process of ending right now. We have mostly cloudy skies here in Louisville, and if you're getting any sunshine up in Scott County, it's not going to be lasting much longer. A bit of rain overnight tonight, Bruce. Rain will be developing, it looks like mid or late evening, somewhere in there. We're getting a couple of showers about 70 miles south of Louisville right now. Then later this evening, rain developing, continuing overnight. Should be ending between 6 and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it may be raining, for the morning rush hour. It may be over by then. Be in the process of ending. Low tonight, mid to upper 40s, and tomorrow morning will start off around 50 degrees, but fall into the 30s in the afternoon. Kind of a gusty breeze. Just a reminder, it's still January, and a passing snow flurry possible tomorrow evening. Then Friday, partly sunny, high 42.
1-800-999.
59. be developing by late evening. Cloudy, windy, colder tomorrow with temperatures falling into the 30s. Chance for a snow flurry tomorrow evening. Friday, partly sunny, high 43, warmer for the weekend. We had 1,100,000 calls on that last year.
Now let's take a behind-the-scenes tour at WAVE-TV 3 and see how things are run. Go back behind the scenes of a newscast right before it starts and also during the newscast. We'll also go back out in Belski's backyard and show you how the weathercast is put together using a chroma key map to produce the weather graphics you see on your screen, and also we'll show you how everything is run smoothly throughout the broadcast. I'll see you again after the news.
All right, we're starting our tour in the Weather Center here. This is our map printer, which prints out about 30 different types of weather maps. One that just came over, winds at 20,000 feet. Here's a radar chart. Then over here we have the teletype machine, prints out current conditions and forecasts and radar summaries, just all sorts of basic weather information from around Kentucky, Indiana, and the Ohio Valley. This is a recently expanded weather office. We've almost doubled our space. We have a large monitor here to watch the weather channel, movie channel, whatever you feel like watching that night. And also you see that on TV on the 11 o'clock news when we do the segment from in the office here, the wake-up weather. Our computer graphics system here, we can draw all sorts of weather maps. There's one. We'll change one here. We do earthquake maps. Let me put one more up there. These are all different maps we've drawn up. Keep track of the National Weather Service radar. And we have the Doppler radar here. I'll go ahead and, let's see, resume normal. We'll go back, and it's not picking up anything because there's no rain in the area. Over here is the forecast line, 581 WAVE. We recorded on here. At this point, someone is calling right now. The WAVE 3 forecast line is John Belski. This is the radar to the National Weather Service, and this is just some of our computer graphics system in here. And that pretty much covers the weather office here. We'll step out into the newsroom. It's kind of busy because we're about a half hour away from the 6 o'clock news. Anita in the red here, she's producing the 11 o'clock news, checking on some stories. And then Joe over in the green sweater, he's a 6 o'clock producer, doing final preparations for the 6 o'clock news. Rick in the blue sweater and the glasses there, he's the director, so he's going to be calling all the camera shots and tapes and everything. So he's going over the final rundown right now. We have the editing booths over here. I'll let you peek into one here.
Working on it tonight.
Yeah,
Just
by going to the brewery or something.
let's go down to the next one here. Well, no one in there. Okay, working on a story for the 6 o'clock news, doing some final editing there. We usually take, I don't know how much they'll shoot on like a fire. Might shoot 20 minutes and use 20 seconds on the air. Here's the sports corner back here. Bob's on the phone right now talking with someone, and they have all sorts of tape machines back there in order to tape highlights of all the games. Rick Redmond is with the sports department. He's working on some sports tapes of the Australian Open. That's for our 6 o'clock news tonight here. We even keep track of what the competition is doing, as they do with us also. All the cubicles you see around here, this is just different, we don't have room for offices for everybody. It's just all the reporters and anchors have their own desk area. And that's it for the newsroom. Are you stopped? Oh. Okay, let's step into the audio booth here.
Just a little vibration, felt a little bit.
Okay. This is the audio board.
Did you think anything of it?
For anything in use with the studio, making tapes or anything like that. It looks pretty complicated there, at least it does to me. Well, let's step over here and you get a good shot of studio control. Do you have studio control? I mean, you have a little TV studio setup and everything. Okay. Here's what it looks like from behind here. During the news, the director sits on the right-hand side of this desk, and the producer sits here. And we're all computerized in our news department, so that he has a computer terminal there. He can keep track of the latest, how the show is going, whether we're on time, overtime. Here is the switcher here. Bill's the TD. He's getting all the graphics together for the 6 o'clock news. Right now they're working on the what's called the bumps, a little video that plays right before the commercial, coming up, and they'll have some music and some kind of video there. But you can see the monitors for the cameras, radar, tape machine, and so forth and so on. This is master control in here. This is the heart of the station. Marty is hitting the buttons to play the commercials on the air, is making sure that we stay on the air. And he has his own switcher there. He puts the time and the temperature up every 30 minutes, runs weather crawls. We run the weather crawls from in here. What else we do in here, Marty? If it's a boring show, yeah.
We run all local programming, all commercials, local commercials, and make sure everything stays on the air and looks right.
All right. And if there is a problem, then the engineers come take care of it. And this is our engineering section here. I'll show you just a few pieces of equipment. This machine's called an ACR. I don't know what ACR stands for, but it plays the commercials. It's all computerized. They plug these carts in there, just like audio carts, except it's bigger. It's got video on it, obviously. They can program it in as to what commercial break it pops up, in what order. Here's the tape for the show we're running right now, Who's the Boss? So if I went over right now and hit the stop button, I'd probably be fired because the tape would stop on the air, and we won't want that to happen. I don't know what all this equipment does here. It's different checks on satellites and this and that. This is where we control our tower camera. So you can see this has been kind of a strange day because we've had to clear to the north clouds to the south. So as I pan out to the west here, as we look toward New Albany, you can see this line of clouds is right on top of us. Kind of neat looking there. More equipment there. We have, every now and then as a backup, and if a commercial breaks down, Marty and Master Control can hit the button, start the film, like a PSA, 30-second, 1 minute, just as a backup, so we don't sit there on black for the whole time. This is the tape area. During the news, we'll run the cassettes, that they've edited down, we'll run from back in here. And again, right now they're still doing some pre-game stuff for the 6 o'clock news. More tape machines here. This is like this one piece of equipment here is such a small part of the station. Something like this runs well over $100,000. So it gives you an idea of the expense involved in a TV station. Font machine over here, kind of like your character generator. Spike is working on the fonts. They're going to be on the 6 o'clock news for tonight. Don't misspell anything there. You already did.
Oh, I didn't misspell.
Man, the pressure's on. The camera's looking over your corner.
Between the characters,
yeah, well,
all right, John.
there you go. All right. And don't want to upset the governor there.